In what's becoming a brutal pattern for Meghan Markle, her attempt to rebrand her public image through her latest podcast has backfired spectacularly, this time at the hands of mainstream morning show hosts Ripa and Mark Consuelos. Though Meghan wasn't present, her name dominated the conversation for all the wrong reasons. During a Candid live segment, the daytime power couple didn't just critique her work, they dismantled it. Their commentary was sharp, unfiltered, and echoed what many viewers have felt for months. Meghan's podcast, intended to empower, often comes off as narcissistic, forced, and entirely out of touch. Kelly, never one to sugarcoat her opinion, launched into the discussion by noting how Markle's content feels more like a branding campaign than a meaningful dialogue. She highlighted what she called the obvious scripting and self-congratulatory tone in the Duchess's conversations, suggesting that even when Meghan tries to spotlight others, the spotlight somehow always circles back to her. Mark Consuelos, who typically balances his wife's candor with humor, didn't hold back either. He pointed to the latest episode hosted with entrepreneur Emma Grede, calling it a lecture in disguise and adding that authenticity doesn't live there. This wasn't casual morning banter, it was a public takedown. And the worst part? The audience applauded. Social media lit up with clips of the segment, many praising Kelly and Mark for finally saying what everyone's been thinking. Hashtags like CringeCast and Megxit media failure began trending on X, formerly Twitter, within hours, turning what was meant to be a promotion cycle for Meghan into yet another PR nightmare. And unlike previous critiques from tabloids or royal commentators, this came from relatable mainstream media figures, making it all the more damning. Critics argue that Meghan's podcast, which originally claimed to be a platform for marginalized voices, has devolved into yet another tool for self-image control. Rather than shining the light on guests, Meghan frequently interrupts, redirects, or reframes their experiences to align with her own narrative of victimhood and misunderstood royalty. Listeners have caught on. Reviews on Spotify and Apple Podcasts reveal a common theme: performative empathy, shallow empowerment, and an uncanny ability to turn every topic into a reflection of Meghan herself. And perhaps that's where the heart of the backlash lies: authenticity. The Duchess of Sussex, once hailed as a modern symbol of change within the royal family, now faces growing perception as an opportunist exploiting the same system she claims to have fled. While she continues to package her experiences as trauma-laced battles against an archaic monarchy, audiences are starting to question the substance behind the sound bites. Meghan is no longer the underdog. She's the executive producer of her own narrative, and people are beginning to see through the production. Meanwhile, Kelly and Mark's unfiltered critique is being hailed as a turning point. Industry insiders have noted that daytime hosts rarely veer into controversial territory without good reason. Their comments weren't gossip, they were reflective of a broader shift in public sentiment. It's becoming harder to ignore the growing fatigue around Meghan's self-promotion. From Netflix specials to speaking engagements, the common thread remains Meghan first, everything else second. The reaction from Meghan's camp? Deafening silence. No rebuttals, no clarifications, just business as usual, with Meghan continuing to promote her brand and podcast via carefully curated Instagram reels and vaguely inspirational captions. But silence isn't neutral, it's strategic. By ignoring critiques, Meghan continues to play the misunderstood victim. Yet, with each unchecked critique, her credibility erodes just a bit more. What makes this all the more tragic is the squandered potential. Meghan had the perfect platform to reshape public conversations around race, gender, and class. Instead, she's created an echo chamber that serves no one but herself. When even morning TV personalities are calling it out live on air, the message is clear: the public is tired of curated vulnerability and selective transparency. They want real. And Meghan, despite her many talents, no longer seems capable or willing to deliver that. In the end, Kelly and Mark didn't just critique Meghan's podcast, they exposed the rot beneath the glossy surface. It wasn't mean-spirited. It was a necessary wake-up call. Because if Meghan Markle truly wants to lead, she'll need to start by listening. And if the audience's applause is any indication, it's clear they've already moved on, waiting for a voice that isn't manufactured but meaningful. But as Meghan doubles down on her polished PR strategy and carefully curated content, she seems increasingly disconnected from that reality. Instead of evolving, her messaging feels stuck: recycled buzzwords, surface-level empowerment, and carefully filtered vulnerability that now reads more like performance than progress. What was once framed as a courageous leap away from royal constraints now appears to many as an opportunistic pivot into a different kind of royalty, celebrity royalty, where authenticity is often sacrificed for control. The irony? Meghan had the world's attention. She had the platform, the sympathy, the moment. But instead of building bridges, she's built a brand, one that now feels hollow. As viewers tune out and mainstream figures like Kelly and Mark begin to voice what millions have quietly thought, the cracks in Meghan's media empire are becoming impossible to ignore. Her refusal to engage in honest reflection or acknowledge criticism isn't strength, it's strategic silence. And in the age of transparency, that silence speaks volumes. For a woman who once promised to use her voice for change, the biggest question now is, whose voice is she really amplifying, others or just her own echo?